The World Superbike Championship of 2003 had new rules, new teams, and a host of hungry riders, all out to become world champion. 8 months of thrills, spills, heartache and triumph would make 2003 another classic race season. Beginning in Valencia, Spain, the championship circumnavigated the world, travelling to 12 classic race venues and ending at a new venue for this year, Magny-Cours in France.
Race day at Valencia. The strong winds remained and the anticipation was at gale force as, for the first time in 2003, the race face was on. Hodgson looked mightily relaxed for a man with his name apparently on the title. James Toseland knows that a different pressure is on him. He has to make returns this season. Ruben Zaus picked up a final tip from his guru, Carl Fogarty. If Neil doesn't win the title, then it should be Zaus. Weekend 1 had already been a success for Troy Corser and the Foggy Petronas team. Could they translate a front row start into precious World Championship points? Soon we would know.
Revs are up, ready for a start, and the season begins, and a cracking start there for Hodgson straight away. You can just see now moving across onto the left-hand side of the screen there, jockeying for position as Corser. Toseland's had a flyer and he's through. Zaus in right behind him, everyone through cleanly, getting shuffled back big time. Walker's a big mover there as well, walking down the inside, so Toseland leads the first race of the season. Zaus in behind, then it's Walker side by side, Hodgson and Corser battling it out up through turn 3, hooking left.
Troy Corser got swamped at the start, but he's battled his way back, and he is there right behind Neil Hodgson on the second factory Ducati out there at the moment. But great start there from James Toseland. The worry that Hodgson will have now is because Zaus behind Toseland. If Zaus gets past Toseland quickly and leaves him behind, Hodgson have a look on the inside, up the inside of Chris Walker.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think Chris Walker is going to keep our hotshot really, really busy. Using all of the track, James Toseland. Zaus in behind him, you can't even see, hiding in behind there as well as Hodgson. Who's going to move now? Zaus moves across, there's Hodgson side by side with his teammate, but nobody can make a dent. This is fabulous stuff. A really, really brilliant performance from young James Toseland.
It's fantastic stuff from Toseland, no doubt about it, but Hodgson's the faster down the straight.
Yep.
He's always been very good aerodynamically. Trouble with the Spider-Man, we call him, number 11, there's out. He's 6'2" tall, and there's too much of him. He can't get himself tucked behind that very, very narrow 999. Hodgson is the quicker down the straight.
I tell you what, mate, with that tail, when he wanted to sit up straight, use his back as a sail, I think he'd even go more quickly. Now, that's the double right-hander done with. Hodgson the fastest down the pit straight, 290 kilometres an hour he's banked in down that pit straight. That's with a tailwind. 295 was the best we've seen in qualifying, so these guys are on it. The pace is blistering.
Yeah, over 175 miles an hour that is now. Again, Zaus has a look. Hodgson's on the inside as well. Hodgson, they're going to get tangled up, but Hodgson goes through.
Absolutely brilliant stuff. Just hooks into that left-hander, carries the speed, and absolutely maintains it. Well, Zaus hasn't given this up yet. There's Toseland. Yes, Toseland is P1. That's what he needs to see. Hodgson side by side with Toseland. Makes it look easy. Just slides on through. So we've got Hodgson now from Toseland, from Zaus from Walker.
Hodgson now stretched out 4 or 5 bike lengths from the HM plant number 52 bike of Toseland. Zaus again, he's on the inside. This time he's done it, but no!
Fighting back. Toseland isn't going to give up this easily. Now, can he switch back? Zaus carries the speed. That was a really strong pass.
Chris Walker always looks like he's having a fight with a bike, stunningly fast, and if you just watch their styles, Walker always looks the busier of the two on the bike. Looks like he's staying there quite comfortably now with number 52, James Toseland.
Looks like he wants to hop off and carry it around the corner himself, actually. Great to watch. very flamboyant style, very exciting. He was awesome to watch on that Kawasaki last year. Such a big bike as we now look at, such a big bike physically. He actually did look as though he was climbing up, but it runs very wide there.
Yeah, that was a wide, high, slow line. I was about to say high, wide, fast, but it wasn't. Walker actually ran in there, made a mistake. He's lost a lot of ground there.
Yeah, look at the gap.
And the gap has gone to 0.7, and there Toseland gets the bike sliding. Walker has a look on the inside. I think leaves his brake a little bit too late. Was unable to squeeze the brake, because if you squeeze, and there you see him having to just run past James Toseland there.
Okay, now this is the next drop down. There's Steve Martin, there's Regis Laconi, and right behind him, Lavia. That's good stuff, having a good show. There's Frankie Keeley, just sliding down the inside there of Troy Corser. Corser moves back. That'll put Corser in 9th position. Great to watch this machine out on track. I was just going to make the point, not everybody, in fact, most riders have not done a full race run. As we look at the big flame out we were talking about the Troy just before the race began. Really does look spectacular.
Yeah, it's quite unique, this Foggy Patrol. FP1, and he's off the track. That was close, and he's in the gravel. He's down.
Oh, no.
Corser is down. That's bad news there. He just went in there too hot, got wide. We saw his foot come down, so that's Corser out. He's not going to bring it home in the top 10. He's annoyed with himself. I think that was probably just a little bit of a mistake. He just ran in there a bit too hot. Very difficult for me to say. Could have had a mechanical problem, but here we go. We'll have a look at this as he comes into the right-hander, flames out the back of the bike, and he just looks to run wide. He's got it all wrong, and now he's on the marbles. The track's slippery. You can see him sliding. There's no grip. He knows he's going off the track, but once you get in that gravel, there's nothing you can do about it, really. He just loses it at this point. It would just be worse than riding on glass, so down he goes. Chris Walker's got past James Toseland, so the teammate battles are going on, and Walker at the moment up into 3rd place. Now, how about that for a debut ride, if he can bring that home in 3rd place? The gap has gone up straight away to 2 seconds, and almost certainly Neil Hodgson would have been looking at his pit board, seeing 0.7, 0.5, 0.8, thinking this just isn't right. This is scaring me, because you want a couple of seconds really to be able to be running smoothly and calmly out there, and almost certainly he's decided, right, that's enough, I'm breaking the code.
And two things have happened here, of course. He's upped the ante, he's gone that bit quicker, and at the same time Zaus has put his hands up and he's going that bit slower. So a few tenths faster from Hodgson and half a second slower from Zaus, and Zaus has obviously thought, if I fall off this, I'll be eaten alive when I get back to the pits. Let's just bring it home. I'm known as a crasher. I can't do that. It's my home circuit, even though he doesn't like it much. Just keep it smooth, keep it tidy. Yeah.
David Tardozzi, team manager, I'm sure will have had a word with him. He did crash here last year, didn't he, in the second race? Ruben Zaus finished 5th in the first race. Now, that look, Hodgson made a mistake there. I reckon he ran a little bit wide on that corner. So we'll be interested to see what lap time he puts in this time around. It was a 35.65 last time. There is your 5th place man.
And now here's this ding-dong battle. Bike number 10, Gregorio Lavia, the first of the 4-cylinder machines, the 1000cc GSXR Suzuki, and right behind him, one of the legends, one of the crowd favourites, number 7, can only be Frankie Keeley, and they are having a knock-em-down, drag-em-out battle. Look, Keeley down the inside, no?
Yeah, whose paint's
Toss
it
your
going to be?
coin, he's just going to do it.
Yeah, jammed it down the inside. The only thing is Lavia might have got a better run out the corner. Let's see the speed. Remember, the Suzuki, the 4-cylinder bike, has one of the restrictions on, but no, the Ducati there, number 7, Keeley, just pulled it out down the straight.
And look at that. Laconi, bike number 55, has got through on Steve Martin. The Frenchman has just slid down the inside of the Australian in through the double right-hand section. Now getting his head down to see if he can break it. Martin fighting back, 99. This is the tight section of the circuit. It is a passing opportunity. Martin no way close enough. And Frankie Keeley looks like he's cruising,
Yeah, number 7, Frankie Keeley is touring. That is very sad news. That's a mechanical problem.
One more corner to go after this sweep of 13. Coming down now into turn 14 and onto the pit straight. This is the UK's Neil Hodgson. Neil Hodgson with a brand new works machine. Neil Hodgson on his back wheel and across the stripe. Neil Hodgson wins the first race of 2003 for the Works Ducati team, and his teammate Ruben Zaus comes in second. A 1-2 for the Works team, and these two, the GSE machines of Walker and Toseland. Walker third, Toseland fourth. Great stuff from the pair of them.
A debut win then for the 999 Ducati. Apart from a couple of minor electrical problems, the team has had nothing but smooth progress through the winter and now into the racing. Confirmation then that Ruben Zaus finished in second spot, and a wonderful ride from Chris Walker, battling for the second row of the grid, who secured his first ever World Superbike podium. But the main man in race one was Neil Hodgson, that his fourth World Superbike victory and the first outside Britain. Pleased with the win, although he wasn't too happy with the way he had started the race.
I said to Chris, I was a bit like a pansy into the first couple of turns, but I'd been working so hard through all practice, I didn't want to throw the race away in the first two turns, so I was a bit edgy. And then I just sat there for 2 or 3 laps, just trying to get used to racing. You know, I've done so many laps riding around on my own. It's difficult when you're in close company with other riders. It's something you actually have to get used to, so I was just trying to bide my time and stay patient.
Now we're ready for race 2 in the Superbike series. Race 1 had been completely dominated by the new 999 Ducatis, ridden by race winner Neil Hodgson and second placed Ruben Zaus. Could anyone put pressure on the Fila team? Hodgson was, of course, in pole position.
Lights are red, revs are up, ready for a start. Looked like a good start there for Toseland. Great start for Walker, just saw him slipping past Corsa already. Now, a better start this time for Neil Hodgson. You bet it is, but Toseland, 52. Hodgson just slips past, so it's Hodgson, Toseland. Zaus in there as well, so you're 1-2-3 off the line, a 1-2-3 fifth, and a great start there from Frankie Keeley. Look at bike number 7 up in there as well. Zaus challenging, slips past Toseland straight away. Walker's on the outside of that. What can he make of that? In through the back end of the field there, there's Beside just ducking around. Great start there for Hodgson. We're on the infield now. This is turn number 11. Tight, working away up onto the back straight. The very fast left-right coming up. Bike number 99 now. Steve Martin, he's got himself in front of Corsa, and Keeley, stop and go penalty. Oh, that's shot the fox. That's spoilt the battle between those two.
This is what we saw last time. In fact, when Chris Walker got past James Toseland in race 1, Toseland made a small mistake on turn 1 and enabled Walker to have a bit of an easier time, but it's not easy anywhere here, these times that they're doing. Walker and Toseland, 36.0. That's a fabulous time, race time, bearing in mind that the qualifying times of those guys was 35.4s and 35.5, so, you know, really close stuff for the race time.
Okay, we're on lap 4:23. Bear in mind, this time last race, it was Toseland in front of Walker, and he held Chris Walker off right up until lap 12. So let's just see how it unfolds. Let's see whether or not James can be easier on his tyre, whether or not Chris Walker can push him harder. You can tell they're battling for position. There's 100, there's 11. Both of them moving right to the infield. Toseland to cover, Walker to have a peek down the inside to see what he can do with it.
Now, Laconi has retired post 4, but we also Hodgson again faster. This is an outright lap record there.
And look, Levere has slipped past Troy Corsa there on the FP1. So now you've got Walker, Martin rather, I'm sorry, being pursued very hotly by Levere. And the Foggy Petronas machine just moving back.
Now, Laconi has retired post 4, but we also Hodgson again faster. This is an outright lap record there. Oh, and there's
Keeley having
that
his
looks
second.
like Hayden's bike going back into the pits there.
Stop and stop.
Frank, I can't believe he didn't get off and punch someone then.
I will later.
All right, that's Hayden. Hayden in the pits, number 8, has retired. If he had a stop and go, maybe he's just given up on it. Maybe it's disappointing for James Hayden, but he did get a finish in the first race. Let's hope we see Corsa get a finish in race 2, currently running in 7th spot.
Okay, back at the front. 100, Hodgson. There's the gap back to his teammate, bike 11, Zaus. Unbelievable times.
Well, Hodgson again's pulled the pin. He's gone even faster, 35.007. Fastest ever lap of a superbike around this circuit in a race. Corsa is all over the back of him, all over the top of him, isn't he, on the corners, in the braking areas. It's just unfortunately down this straight that we're about to come on to, the main start and finish straight, is where he loses the time and then he has to make it all up. That's from our curb cam there.
this bike in the lead of this battle, and it looks very much, you can't see him hiding in there, but there he is, Steve Martin. He looked like he had a very good drive out of there. We're coming down into turn one. Martin having a look. Is he close enough? Lavia says, no, forget all about it, sunshine.
We've had word from the pits that Frankie Keeley has retired. He's come in.
He couldn't wait for the end for the punch-up.
He didn't want a third stop and go. Probably that's what it is. How disappointing for Frankie Keeley. We shouldn't laugh. It's been very disappointing for him. He's going to go away with here with no points whatsoever at round one.
There you go. Bike number 99 is now back in front. This is just going on and on and on. Martin now back in front. Lavia on the Works Suzuki behind, and Corsa on the Works FP1 still in the hunt.
Yeah, the course is not done with, is he? You watch now, you see the distance out now. This is the pass at the end of the straight. It was. Use the slipstream. We've seen him. Look at him braking the back end of that bike, snaking around, leaving black lines as he unloads the rear end of that bike, braking into turn one. He's made it stick. Will Lavia be able to come back? Yeah, there's this will have dented him a little bit. He says he doesn't like the circuit, but nevertheless, he will have hurt that he pushed hard early on. He really did. And Hodgson had to put in some cracking laps, didn't he, to get that 3-second margin. He really had to work hard at it. And Zaus really can't be disappointed with 2 seconds. It puts him very much on the scoreboard.
This man is going to be a force to be reckoned with on any circuit, any shape, any size. Hodgson hates this circuit. Well, he used to. He probably likes it, as you said before, likes it more now, but it's not his favourite circuit either. He should be, with the long legs of this, devastating come Australia.
Yeah, the man from Burnley, as I said before, now lives in the Isle of Man with his fiancée, no, wife, I beg your pardon, Catherine now. I better get that right. Yeah, into the final corner.
Okay, well, head down, bum up, and front wheel up as well. Neil Hodgson takes the double. The first two races of the year. His teammate Mono's across the line as well. Ruben Zaus in second position. A 1-2 for the Ducati 999 team. And now across the line for a podium. And is he happy or what? James Toseland on the GSE machine comes in third.
A fabulous double then for Britain's Neil Hodgson. The 999 Ducati had run without any sort of hitch throughout the weekend, and the odds on a Hodgson world title had already dramatically shortened. It was the old Fila Ducati 1-2 yet again, Ruben Zaus in second place. James Toseland and Chris Walker swapped places from race one, meaning that this time it was Toseland who took a podium place. Is this a scene that will be replicated often through the 2003 season? Neil Hodgson on top of the podium alongside his teammate Ruben Zaus. The rest of the teams will have to work exceptionally hard to keep pace with the 999 if they are to enjoy any champagne moments. The Burnley man will be hard to budge from the top of the championship standings if the bike continues to run as smoothly as it did in Spain. Mr. Smiley after Valencia was Neil Hodgson. What a weekend.
Fastest in every practice session, lap record, double win, pole. It can't get any better. On my worst track, so I sound big-headed, don't I? I'm sorry about that, but I'm just so pleased.
Race day at Phillip Island. The crowd was getting up down under for a World Superbike Antipodean Odyssey. Round one had been dominated completely by Ducati, and in particular the Michelin-shod 999 as ridden by Neil Hodgson. A sensational double in Spain by the Burnley Bolt, living up to his moniker of championship favourite. Frankie Keeley was looking confident now, bouncing back from that double no score in Spain. And it was a Spaniard who had caused a super pole shock. David Garcia on the privately run NCR Nortel Ducati. Chris Walker was looking to emulate his podium finish in race 2 at Valencia and keep HM Plant teammate James Toseland at bay, while Gregorio Lavia was hoping for some magic from the Suzuki, the 4-cylinder 1000cc machines in the championship for the first time. So bright weather, track conditions perfect for the start of race 1.
Okay, revs are up, ready for a start. Lights are red. And we're away. Pretty good start there by Hodgson. Belter of a start by Walker. Watch for Walker on the left-hand side of the screen. Hodgson now, we're riding with Corsa in behind Lavia into this first right-hander. Really, really quick stuff. Watch for them. They're coming around now. Hodgson's got the lead. There's Laconi's made a pretty good start as well, slipping up the inside. Hooking round to the left now, down through the southern loop. Great stuff there from Walker.
Yeah, very much
Keely's
so.
running with him too. Keely side by side, looking for a position, trying to have a duck down the inside. The field's about to filter left, somebody kicking up the dust, and an absolute flyer from Levere.
Keely's trying to go around the inside. Is he going down the inside into Honda corner? He's jamming it down the inside of Hodgson, and he has. Number 7, Frankie Keely, takes the
And there's a
lead.
bit of a touch there as well. That was Walker just right on the back of Hodgson, almost touched tyres there. Down into Siberia now. Keely's in the lead, just in front of Hodgson. Walker's gone with him. Levere's absolutely on a flyer. That's fabulous for him. Now this is the big drag back up the hill again. Levere in 4th position. Garcia has lost a little bit of position off the line. Wasn't a perfect start, but he can make good from there. Up and over now, Lukey Heights. This is the big blind left-hander. You can't see anything. Crest the hill, down, and then stomp on the brakes. Levere just looking there, in behind him, Garcia.
Yeah, now Chris Walker, number 9, there was having a look on the inside of Hodgson, but I think he thought better of it. The last thing I would want to do is wipe out the championship leader on turn 7 there. But anyway, I think Neil Hodgson probably just letting the tyres heat up and get everything sorted out. He said in Valencia he rode right like a bit of a granny in the early stages, just wanted to make sure everything was okay. So there he is now. Look at the speed now. Watch this number 100 bike, and there he goes, pulling out.
Any questions? Excuse me, that was actually, I don't know if Keely's got a problem. That was an amazing squirt of horsepower. That was spirit crushing.
This is where it hurts the tyres. This long double left-hander. The bike's leant over for so long, and you're building speed all the way through, exiting this corner about 140 miles an hour.
As we look at Levere drafting and then just stretching his legs. Now Walker said, I'm having a bit of this back again, not on your life, sunshine. Walker tries to stuff the bike back in on the fastest corner of the circuit. Are there any questions? This is fabulous stuff for the Suzuki guys. Chris Walker got some work to do, but it ain't over yet. He knows how to fight, but the Alstari Suzuki team will be absolutely over the moon with the performance of this machine here.
Well, they were thinking they would be down on top speed. Here, the smoke.
Hang on, someone's let go.
Keely.
Oh, that is such a shame.
He just does it. The only luck he has is bad luck, isn't it? Forward, Frankie Keely had some problems, technical problems in Valencia. The engine's gone bang on that number 7. And Walker now has another good stab down the inside, but can't do anything about it. Great stuff from these boys. And look at Tosland, 52. Really sliding in there, but he
lost position. Look, big time courses down the inside of him as well. Zaus has already got past him side by side. Bits of motorbike hanging everywhere.
Yeah, that's going to, maybe they're going to, oh, he's lost both sides to that fairing. That is incredible there. So something, I don't know whether he got bashed or something's broken on that bike, but both sides of that fairing have gone. That will be buffeting him around a fair amount, but let's check his speed. Still not so bad.
That does look alarming.
It does look quite alarming. The thing that will be quite disconcerting for Tosland, and maybe he'll get sorted out if he doesn't get pulled in.
Yeah, well, the word from the pits they're going to bring him in. I think his team's going to.
Okay, well, that's maybe the case. Yeah, but it'll feel strange to him riding it, because normally the fairing puts the wind around your legs and it'll feel like you're being buffeted around. It's the most strange thing. If you lose a screen, I've had it happen, it just feels peculiar. You can get acclimatised to it, but it does seem very strange at the first instance.
Well, seeing Bike 100 at the lead is not a big surprise, as Tosland just slides it in, but he's still fighting very hard with Corsa. I mean, remember, this is where Corsa stuck it through last time around. Tosland fighting back. We're now riding with Troy Corsa. Now, James Tosland is into the pits and has retired. Apparently the plan was from his team they were going to bring him into the pit lane and then send him back out again, but he's coming off a slip road. Sort of coming the wrong way. I would have pretty academic point anyway, I guess, as we look at Walker just having a sniff down the inside. So James Tosland officially retired. He's not going to try to repair the problem and get back out. He would have been well outside the points. There he is now. There's the shot from the garage. That's rotten luck. Well, poor old James Tosland. He needed that like a third armpit. He's had all sorts of trouble this weekend, just trying to get his head around the circuit, which he obviously had done. Meantime, back at the front, as you saw while we were listening to James, as they urge on Levere, 3 abreast. Look at Zaus is going to smoke them all here down into the first corner. Levere down the inside. No, he's straight past. Zaus is gone.
Now, watch the drive of number 10, Gregorio Levere, out of here. Just seems to be able to get on the power, gets the bike up, right, squirt. Has he got the inside line? And he's got it. Yeah.
Oh, well, has he got him now? Zaus thinks you tried to ride around the outside here, was it? Zaus trying to replot the course, run a lap ago by Levere. Doesn't quite work. This is really encouraging stuff. Doesn't want to get too close, he'll cost himself speed onto the straight. But this should be a formality.
And they'll already be thinking about the last lap of the race as they go side by side over the start and finish line to complete 19 of 22 laps. But and who's going to be the bravest again? No, Zaus has another go around the outside. He's so fast around. He's so fast, so brave. And now he's got the inside line for the Southern Loop.
We stroke through the last corner, stroke at 140 miles an hour stroke. Neil Hodgson, pole position. Neil Hodgson did not lead from start to finish, but almost, and he takes it across the stripe. Finger up, number one. You bet. 3 out of 3 for Hodgson. Great stuff.
Hodgson then already stamping a considerable authority on the championship, pulling maximum potential from the Ducati. Ruben Zeus was second for the 3rd race in a row, while Gregorio Lavilla picked up his first podium since Misano 2 years ago. Steve Martin had his best ever result in 4th, and Troy Corser followed his 7th in race 2 in Valencia with that excellent 5th. But most of the smooth moves came from Hodgson, who wanted victory for a particular reason.
It's an important race for me because I really wanted to win it as a tribute to Barry Sheen, who unfortunately lost his life, his battle against cancer. So I was motivated, really motivated.
It's usually windy at Phillip Island, right on the coast within sight of the city of Melbourne, and the blustery conditions continued for round 2, race 2 of the World Superbike Championship. And Neil Hodgson, who had done most of his qualifying laps on race tyres, felt he had the perfect setup to make it a second successive double for himself and the Fila Ducati team.
Red lights are on, revs are up, we're ready for a go in race 2 here at Phillip Island, and they're off. Everyone away smoothly. That's better from Garcia. Looks pretty good from Keeley as well. Hodgson's gone with him. There's the view back. That's Garcia in behind us. There's Frankie Keeley. So there's your race order. We've learnt from the back of Hodgson's bike. Nice start from him. Good stuff from Keeley. Look at Garcia hanging in there around the outside through Doohan corner. Now there's a sharp left-hander. Laconi a bit of a mover there as well. Great stuff, of course, from Walker. Always a strong starter. Corser in there. And there's Toseland having a little sniff down the inside of Corser as we go down through the Southern Loop. We're on board with Corser now. Toseland ahead. I thought I heard a bike go down. Indeed, that must be David Garcia. That looks like the other NCR machine. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
rotten luck for him.
I saw the cameraman swing round and it was Garcia out of 6th place there. That is rotten luck for him. A real shame. He managed to bring it home in 8th last time around.
And now just have a look. Laconi's just dropped a spot. Lavilla's just muscled his way past over the top of Lukey Heights. Laconi, who'd been forcing very hard, has just slipped back. Keeley's hanging in there.
Yeah, he is, but where's James Hayden? We seem to have dropped him off somewhere one more time. Corser's out there in 9th place. No sign of James Hayden at the moment. Over the start line, right, 1:34.2. Times are coming down, but Keeley still hanging in.
And look, Lavilla's now past Walker. Pretty comfortable. Walker just had a look down the inside again. Couldn't do anything about it. So Lavilla and Walker, circa race 1. Here we go again. Lavilla moves up the inside into turn 1, carrying the speed. Does Keeley give best? He doesn't want to. Wheel to wheel, but Lavilla's got him. Walker's trying to get a little bit out of this as well. 3 into Southern Loop doesn't go.
Well, there was some serious jousting going on there. Lavilla went past. Keeley let the brakes off. Lavilla let the brakes off. It was a real bravery effort into turn 1, but it is number 10, Gregorio Lavilla, the Spanish rider.
Yeah. Look who's stalking.
Zaus. Spider-Man is coming, and looks a bit of a wild line there. That was Lavilla trying to take the defensive line.
Walker around the outside, side by side with Keeley. I think Walker might have a big puff of smoke there. A little bit of grinding.
Yeah, it was knee scraper on front tyre. Chris Walker's knee pad, I think, on Frankie Keeley's front tyre. Now let's see what happens here as they climb up the hill. But yeah, you're right. Zaus now, fastest lap. 1:33.945, 1/10 off of Hodgson's best.
Have another look.
This is it, on the inside. Now you'll see a puff of smoke in a minute, and I think, yeah, that was Chris Walker's leathers and knee pad on the front tyre of Frankie Keeley's. How close do you want it?
Now Ruben's out, spike 11, look at that. Trying to lunge down the outside. I think he'll muscle Frankie Keeley. Yep, he's done that. Now he's on the inside trying to look at Chris Walker. Can't do that yet. Just keep it smooth. Walker back through.
Yeah, Walker was so fast into Honda corner there. I thought he was going to run wide, but he kept a tight line. Number 9, Chris Walker, HM Plant Ducati. Right, let's see how good the Suzuki is down the straight. But I expect number 11, Ruben Zaus, to blast the pair of them now down the straight.
Regis Laconi just in behind. He's just getting dropped off here. But here we go. Bike number 11, 55. Just a little bit further behind now. Here we go. Bike 10, bike 11. Lavia, Zaus, side by side, straight through. Well forecast.
Number 7 now, Keeley will use the slipstream down the inside, I think.
Well, how will this be resolved? Keeley 7, Laconi 53. Walker's around here as well. And I think it's really worked for... Yeah, he has this time around. Keeley's just carried that speed. Now Zaus has a look down the inside. This is Honda corner. Where's he gone? Is he going to do it? Yep. Ruben Zaus takes the lead. Sensational stuff.
Ruben Zaus, number 11, the young Spaniard, leads this race. Lap 17 of 22. Neil Hodgson tucked in the slipstream. Zaus looked to me for a couple of laps. He didn't want to pass. Now we'll see if Hodgson does, and he does. That just goes to show what a slipstream effect can do. Back in front now is Hodgson.
But doesn't that tell us what Zaus could have done had he wanted to? Unless Zaus is trying to make a point that the boss's bike's got more squirt, but I doubt it. They both look pretty evenly matched to me. Running out of time. Is he sandbagging? This is the left-hander. This is Lukey Heights. He's fast running out of corner. Steve, is he going to do it? Cresting the hill, blind into the sun. It's MG to the right. Having a dip down the inside. He's not close enough.
Hodgson defending as they go into there, but these needs to defend. This is where Zaus, if he gets a good run out of here, right in the slipstream of Hodgson's bike, he can do it before the line. We've seen it happen before. They're all squirming and wriggling around.
This is for real. They are working real hard. They are playing very hard. Zaus is trying to line up from behind. There's the view back from Hodgson. Zaus behind us, getting the run onto the straight. Zaus is in the slipstream side by side. Hodgson weaves. Zaus tries to find a hole, but he can't do it. That is as close as you like. A 1-2. Hodgson just hangs on. Now look at Toseland side by side. Big slip and a slide there, trying to fend off his teammate. This is serial formation flying. Lavia has a look as well. Oh, we're going to have to go to a photo finish for that.
And it was James Toseland who nipped 5th. Hodgson already looks well set for the championship. The Brit is certainly in the ascendancy right now. Four wins in a row then for Neil Hodgson. Frankie Keeley finished a superb 3rd. The veteran former Suzuki rider enjoying fresh impetus on the Ducati 998. Regis Laconi was a strong 4th. But it was a second successive double for Neil, who now has exceptional confidence in himself and his machine, and he had done his homework.
A bit of a thinking man's race, really. I'd worked it out. I'd watched all the other races, all the Supersport races, and all the Australian Championships, and everybody that led out the last corner won. So that was something that I had in my mind.
The World Superbike Series moved to Japan in round 3 of the series at Sugo. It had been wet in qualifying, but not for race day or Superpole, which was won by the French former Grand Prix rider Regis Laconi on the 998 Ducati. Frankie Keeley, second in Superpole in Australia, did the same again in Japan. In 3rd spot, Gregorio Lavia, who podiumed in race 1 at Phillip Island on the 4-cylinder Suzuki. Another great ride by the Spaniard. Completing the front row, Atsushi Watanabe, the 2002 All-Japan Road Race champion, on another Suzuki. While championship leader Neil Hodgson, who made a bad error in Superpole, was down in 5th spot with work to do if he was to add to his impressive tally of 4 successive wins this season. So we're all set for race 1. Your commentary team, Steve Parrish and Charlie Cox.
We prepare to start with race 1, and the revs are up, the lights are red, ready for a start, and we're away. Good start there for Laconi. A bog down in the middle, but Laconi's absolutely gone, and I think it's Watanabe's gone with him. Hooking to the right-hander for the first time. Yes, it is Laconi. Great start from him. Watanabe's gone with him. Right
Crashes. Both the HM plants, they're going to have to stop this race,
and
I'm
the
sure.
Kawasaki. Yeah, both HM plant.
Yeah,
that's
and I have a feeling that was Keeley that caused that. That's Petronas.
Yeah, that's Fog. It's Corsa's bike.
Corsa
Foggy
bike,
Petronas.
Yeah.
So it's Corsa, Keeley, and hobbling there. They don't know at the front, of course. They've just kept going, but I'm sure they're going to red flag that. You've got 4 riders down in turn 1. We said it was a difficult turn. Everyone's still running. Here's another look, Steve. Hosing up into the first corner now. First 2 through Glenny. 2 on the grass there. That's a Kawasaki on the grass. It's a 10-pin bowling, taking everybody out.
Yeah, somebody on the grass there. You know, no,
That was that Kawasaki. I can't see who it was.
Yeah, just took everybody out.
Fastest lap to Laconi so far. 55 there is Laconi. Watanabe on the blue machine there. The Suzuki right behind him, the wildcard rider. Neil Hodgson, the man who's won 4 out of 4, just stalking, letting it all come his way. Then right in behind him, James Toseland, who was very lucky to miss that. His teammate was skittled, literally. He was not. Toseland, bike number 52, the orange machine, running in there in 4th position. And then there's daylight back. Literally, that's where the crash went through. But it's Ruben Zaus and Numata, one of the local riders, in the next body, coming down the hill now as we go into horseback again for the 3rd time.
Yeah, you saw Neil Hodgson there having a bit of a rehearsal there. He was just watching where he could pass number 76, Watanabe. And I was about to say he would do it at the end of one of the straights, but as he went into SP1, he just dived down the inside. Comfortable pass there from number 100, Neil Hodgson on the Fila Ducati, up into 2nd place. And I'm sure Neil Hodgson now is just biding his time, just keeping an eye on where he's going to be faster than number 55, Laconi, and I suspect it could easily be down this straight here now. He's on the full-on 999, and there is the 999 lane, the emergency lane, you could probably call it, down the inside there into horseback corner, and that was sheer horsepower and drivability coming out of that top rainbow corner. Neil Hodgson takes the lead.
And look at that now, Watanabe having a really big lunge. That's Suzuki Power versus Kawasaki versus Ducati, and he's run too wide. That was right on the first corner where it all went wrong on the opening lap. He's got some regrouping to do now. Yeah,
he tried to looking for an out-braking manoeuvre and out-braked himself. That was the only thing he did there. Real negative move from Watanabe.
Well, that's really stretched it out. There's Neil Hodgson now bringing home the hammer of authority on this. Fastest lap from Hodgson, a 1:30.7.
He's pulling off. Watanabe's got a problem.
Big time, yeah. Straight off at horseback, and that didn't look as though he outbraked himself. He's just going to park up.
Mechanical problem there for Watanabe.
He's up into 6th now because these two have actually picked up Sanchini on the last lap. That's Numata on the old 996, and Steve and I are both big fans of him. He's done very good on very well on quite an old machine. He's about to be overwhelmed, of course, by Levere, but he's doing very well, the local wildcard rider. But once Levere's through here, and you have to assume he's going to do so, he'll be up into 5th, and the next man up the hill from him is Ruben Zaus.
Yeah. Very disappointed from him, his point of view, being so far back, but he can work his way through, and that's a fairly brave move, and he jams it down the inside of Numata. He wasn't sure, was there? There was a kind of one of those, will I, won't I, will I, okay, I will, and he's gone down the inside. You see number 79, then Numata hasn't seen him at that point. He's tipped in, and then he's seen him. Whoa, and at that point, Gregorio's got the inside line. It's not going to affect him too much, but he's through.
Back at the front, of course, remember him, bike 100, the Works Ducati. Neil Hodgson is just cruising home. He's got a very stable gap there, 4 seconds back to Regis Laconi, who's still laudably hanging on to 2nd place. He's very well and truly gapped James Toseland now, who's a further 5 seconds back, but 12 seconds in front of Ruben Zaus. So short of mechanical failure or brain fade, all the front spots are pretty well resolved as we circulate around on lap 20 at 25. As you can see there, the gap between Sanchini and Hayden is falling. It's gone from 1.7 to under a second, so he's pushing, and short of a distraction there from bike number 76 behind him, he might be in reasonable shape.
And let's just watch this Suzuki.
Drag up the hill.
Number 76 there, Watanabe's been one of the fastest bikes, I suspect him, and he does. Look at that, he's pulled out, he's gone down the inside, but this is where we saw him outbrake himself before. Has he done it this time? You know, this time he manages to hold it in nice and tight.
You just have a look at the replay there. He just carried the speed side by side early enough, and then...
Yeah, nothing Hayden could do about that. There was a bike where he wanted to turn in, and it enabled Watanabe just to let the brakes off a little bit, tucks it in there nicely into that turn 1, and Away he goes, and look, now he's using the horsepower again.
That's Mauro Sancini, bike number 6. Now we're going down into horseback, and he's having a look down the inside. He's got the speed, just lunged down the inside. Now can Lavia switch back? No, good pass. As we go right through this tight chicane for the last time, and Neil Hodgson now just taps open the throttle for the run back up the hill. This race is not often won by visitors. It's so often won by local wildcard riders, often on Dunlop bikes, but not this time. And Regis Lacconi, second place, and it's going to be a podium for James Toseland.
A superbly spirited ride from Neil Hodgson then, chalking up a 5th straight win, and this on Michelin's on a circuit that traditionally suits the Dunlops. Hodgson remarkably became the first Ducati winner here since Carl Fogarty way back in '95. The last 14 races here have been won on Japanese-built bikes. Regis Lacconi picked up his first podium of the season, while for James Toseland it was a second. A Ming Vaz for the winner, don't drop it, it's priceless, as were the 25 points Hodgson picked up for his victory.
It was a bit eventful at first. I was lucky with a crash. If I hadn't have had a bad start, then I would have obviously gone down. If I hadn't have had a good start, I'd have obviously crashed. So I'm pleased my starts have been pretty good this year. And I know here in the past there's usually been first turn pile-ups, so I just don't want to be involved in any of that mess.
All set at Sugo then for World Superbike Race 2, and a fair proportion of the 1 million population of nearby Sendai had decided to marry the end of the Japanese cherry blossom season with some bike racing. Neil Hodgson was looking to secure a 6th successive win. Here's Steve Parrish and Charlie Cox.
Lights are red, revs are up, ready for a start, and we're off. Lacconi pops it and drops it down again, loses everything. An absolute belting start though for Watanabe, the local wildcard rider. Lavia goes with him, Suzuki, and look at that, Ducati right up there. Hodgson's gone with him, there's a rider down, the field splits. That's Petticini, bike number 19, turn 1, got caught out there.
Well, now where's the team orders here? I wonder if now it's 76's job, Watanabe, to just wobble around and hold everyone up. Let Gregorio Lavia escape. Quite frankly, this sounds very cruel, but it's probably the only way he's going to win, because if Hodgson gets past, and he'll be keen to soon get past Watanabe, because he wouldn't want Lavia disappearing into the distance and getting too much of a lead. Hodgson down the inside now.
Got him now, I reckon. That was a short-lived wobble from Watanabe. That was pretty ineffectual as wobbles go. Just James Toseland and Keeley just sliding in behind there. You just saw Azutsu as well, working his way up through the field. Everyone else through cleanly, Borciani, and then James Hayden just brings up the rear of the pack and across the strike, and look at that gap already opened up by Lavia. Now he's going to have to get his skates on mucho quick, because Hodgson's up into second. He's only 6/10 back, and he's got the magnets on, you can tell. Well, what can Lavia do? At the moment he's doing a 31.05 and Hodgson a 31.03, so there's not much in it. There's a great scrap going on here. Look at Keeley pushing Toseland. Keeley has not got off to the best start. Oh no, Chris Walker, bike number 9, is down.
Neil Hodgson, what can he do this time around? It's about the drive out of this corner. Check the speed again. I suspect he'll have the power and the drive coming up the hill. He's in a perfect position for the slipstream. He'll move to the inside, but he's got to be later on the brakes if he wants to pass.
Yeah, real commitment.
And he's got it this time. He's done it late on the brakes. Gets it stopped. Nicely done, Neil Hodgson. He got himself committed, got himself on the inside, and was just able to himself to move across and sort of say to Gregorio Lavia, right, it's my piece of track, I'm having it, and let's see what he can do, what lap times he can turn in. He's done a 30.69, is his fastest lap so far.
Now here's look at Zaus too, looking down the inside of Toseland. Zaus just slideways, just takes the spot there from Toseland. Toseland goes to turn in, no room. Great big red Ducati right where he wants to be. So that order now is Keeley, Watanabe, Zaus, and then James Toseland now sitting back there in 6th position.
Watanabe's out, off the track, or has he just outbraked himself?
Yeah,
I think he's just outbraked himself, you know.
Well, this is turning into a 3-way battle though, because Lavia is almost mounting the rear of Hodgson's machine, then Hodgson just punches back up the hill again. Neil
really getting some good drive out of there. Lavia going with him, and Frankie Keeley there, bike number 7. Come on, boy.
Winding up Frankie, and he is. He's gone quicker again at 1:30.14. He's only a hundredths quicker, but nevertheless, he's hanging in some good times. These are very, very good race lap times. Hodgson is slowing a lot. Now, what problems has Neil Hodgson got here? Tyres? He's definitely slowing. Look at that at the bottom of your screen. 1:30.2, 1:30.3, 1:30.5, 1:30.9, 1:31, 465. Lavia, can he get the win here? David Tardozzi looking concerned. Francis Batter looking excited. Lavia, very, very much on the tail, but the trouble is where you flick left, flick right, there's just not much room to do it. And the places, as I say here, he could... he's much, much faster through this corner here. Nearly runs in the back of... Now, and this has allowed Frankie Keeley to get right up with them there. Now, that actually worked. Hodgson, I don't know if it was he did it on purpose, but he backed it down, shut it down. Lavia had to back it off, dropped away, and Hodgson's fired it, pulled the pin over the top of the hill.
Now, Regis Laconi, this battle is still going on between him and Hito Izutsu. Bike 77, the SP2 Honda, the HRC Japan machine, and 55 Laconi. This is a real ding-dong battle. This is the scrap for 6th position. Izutsu having a look down the inside into horseback. Is he carrying enough speed? Laconi just eases the door shut and continues the run down the hill. Sugo, always a circuit favouring the wild cards. Last year we saw Tamada take 1 win, local wildcard rider, and it was a real turn up for the books when Colin Edwards took the 2nd. But here now, Neil Hodgson just showing how dominant he is in the series. He's staring down the barrel of the double here, and of course 6 on the trot as a result. Yeah, 94 it was when Scott Russell did it on the Kawasaki. So yeah, some achievement, there's no question about it, that Neil Hodgson is going to do that double, and then this will be his 6th win of the season. Adding to that staggering tally of laps he's led as well, but Lavia manfully put a dent in that through the chicane for the last time and feeding back up the hill. No problem with getting the power down there. It's Hodgson, Lavia, Keeley, but it's Neil's on wheels across the line first. Hodgson takes the win and takes the double.
And Hodgson became the first Western rider to do the Sugo double since American Scott Russell on the Kawasaki way back in '94. The bottle blonde bottling up another 50 points in Japan. What a performance from Gregorio Lavia on that newly introduced 4-cylinder 1000cc Suzuki. A 5th and a 2nd then for the Spaniard in Japan. And a 2nd podium of the season for Frankie Keeley on the Ducati. Race day at Monza and the damp conditions of Superpole had been replaced by warm sunshine. They've been holding a round of the World Superbike Championship at Monza since 1990, and the winners include luminaries like Kaczynski, Fogarty, Edwards and Bayliss. Amongst those bustling for a spot on the Roll of Honour in 2003 was Gregorio Lavia, 5th on the grid and 3rd in the championship on the 4-cylinder Suzuki. The Frenchman Regis Laconi, who has won a World Superbike round in Italy at Imola in 2001, was on the front row. And alongside him in 3rd was James Toseland, 4th in the championship on another Ducati. Keeley, 4 times a race winner here, was 2nd, but on pole yet again was Neil Hodgson, riding that seemingly uncatchable Ducati 999. The Brit had, of course, won the first 6 races of the season, as did Bayliss last year. Could Hodgson make it a magnificent 7?
Revs are up, ready for a start. And the lights are out. Good start there for Hodgson, not so good for Keeley. Toseland, I think, went with him as well. Hodgson on the right, Toseland in the middle. Chris Walker battering his way through on the left. He looks like he might actually avalanche Laconi. No, he doesn't. Hodgson leads in. Cracking start there by 3rd place there for Ian Utsuo. We're riding with Keeley. Right in front of us there is James Toseland. What a great start there for both of those Suzukis.
It was, but really, Frankie Keeley, we saw, has got completely swallowed up. He's gone from the first row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th or 8th position for number 7, 9th even probably for Frankie Keeley. Real problems for him. He's got a lot of work to do, but yeah, Neil Hodgson, the punch of that 999 seemed to be working. now around the Curva Grande. That's a 5th gear corner. They're building up about 155 miles an hour around there, still accelerating again, then jamming the brakes on. Watch the front end dip down.
And look at Laconi having a lunge, and he's through. Laconi just slides down the inside up into Della Roggia. A bit of a bumpy exit there for Laconi. Has he slowed himself? What's happening with Neil Hodgson?
Well,
he's really got bought.
That put Hodgson off completely. Neil Hodgson wasn't expecting that. Laconi slid through there, bought Neil Hodgson. He went up on the curb, which he lost his rhythm. Now we were about to say, will Hodgson have anyone in front of him to get a slipstream? He has now. He's got 2 of them in front of him. Lavia will get a good drag down here. We know that Suzuki's fast. All of them buried underneath the screen, tucking everything in. And watch number 10. That's a bit early, but there'll be lots of passing here.
3 abreast. Hodgson, Lavia. Lavia switched to the inside. In behind him, trying to get a tow, is James Toseland. Frankie Keely's in touch with all this as well, but Neil Hodgson's clawed one back up into second.
Just watch them all now. They'll all get in a line astern, then they'll start fanning out as they go over the start line. Lavia in a good place. Hodgson was in the tow, but maybe he went a little bit early that time. Now he comes down the inside. Can he outbrake Lavia? I beg your pardon, Laconi, and he does. He gets himself on the inside, back in front, Neil Hodgson. Toseland on the inside now, who's going to be latest on the brakes. You watch them as they brake them on. They're slamming it down. The front dips down. The front tyre buries itself in the ground. Rear tyre. Laconi's gone in there a bit hot. He's made a mistake. Laconi was too fast into that corner. Toseland's gained on him, but it slows everyone down because once someone's made a mistake in the middle of that corner, really there's very little you can do about it. But Laconi was definitely in there a bit on the hot side.
Toseland looking as though he was going to take the wide line around Curva Grande. Not quite doing it. So Frankie Keely now on a real lunge. Keely moves up into second in this pack. Now Lavia moves to the inside. Just has a little bit of a look. Frankie feints a pass, but he's not close enough, but he's extremely close this time. Tries to ride around the outside through the parabolica. That's the long way.
He had to button it off as well. He got a slide there, so Lavia's on the inside as they're side by side. Frankie number 7. We saw the back of that Ducati, the machine there, the yellow machine, just slide a bit.
Toseland.
Toseland used the pair of them. It was like having a truck in front of him, and he's going again, using the momentum. Toseland went there. Surely, is he going to go all the way through? But Laconi's late on the brakes. Just imagine if this was the last lap. Toseland will be thinking, right, this is, if it was the last lap, he's got good drive out of here, he's got the run down the inside, but just don't discount number 10. He's got the 2 of them in front of him. You might see that Suzuki come flying out the slipstream at the end of the straight here.
Not short on power, definitely not short on braking as we watch Lavia once again slide through the inside. Toseland quite willing there to take the wide line around the parabolica, then brings it in tight as Lavia runs wide on the exit. So 52 to the left of you, 55 behind. Frankie gets a stern. Who's on first base? Big shuffle back across the stripe, almost 4 abreast. It's 3. Laconi 55 as he got a 52 now, having a little sniff down the inside. It will be Laconi. Will it be Toseland? Here's Keely's view. Once again goes through in 4th, but he knows he's got half a dozen laps up his sleeve. Couple of wildcard riders there thinking, God, these guys are quick.
But they're right on Hodgson now, aren't they? I mean, there's nothing much in it now as they come in. They've really closed him down. That back marker there getting completely shuffled out the way. He thought he was going fast until this happened to him. That was 82. Maury, the local guy, yeah, but they're on the pack now.
Yeah, the poor old back marker looked like he's having a bloody track day out there as we watch these guys streaming once more time.
This is the last lap now. This is the important corner they're coming up to. This is where it's going to be sorted out. Hodgson, to me, looks like he has enough of an advantage. And now, as number 10 there, he went and made a mistake there. That was Gregorio Lavia, was a little bit fast in there, but he's in a good position to get the tow for second. But Toseland's also right behind him. Look at this now as they come up to the final corner.
Okay, down the back straight. Hodgson there, the red bike. We're on board with Toseland. He's trying to make a move on Lavia. That's not going to help Lavia trying to make a move on Laconi. Lavia ahead of us is in 3rd. Laconi in front of him is in 2nd. This man, the big red Ducati, is leading and is looking absolutely on target to take the win. Neil Hodgson in front. Laconi, Toseland, Lavia. It's going to go anyway as they all shuffle each other down to the line. There's the finish line there. It was so close.
It wasn't comfortable for Neil Hodgson, but it was another victory. Yes, an incredible 7 in a row, and with it came Ducati's 200th success in the World Superbike Championship. Hodgson winning by 0.4 of a second from Laconi, a 3rd podium for Gregorio Lavia on the Suzuki, while 2 other Brits featured in the top 8, James Toseland and Chris Walker on the HM Plant Ducatis. Another huge lump of silverware for Hodgson, but post-race he revealed that he had really felt the pressure in front of the Italian crowd.
It was a bit of a difficult race, to be totally honest, because I was thinking about Ducati's 200th win, and I really wanted to achieve that, you know what I mean, and I wanted to achieve it here, so it was playing on my mind, and also to try to beat Troy's record from last year, winning the first 6. Well, I beat that, so I feel a bit more relaxed now, if you know what I mean. There's 2 big milestones there that I've managed to get rid of.
Now that's what I call a carry-out. There was a huge, enthusiastic and sun-baked crowd at Monza for the second race of round 4 of the World Superbike Championship, with Neil Hodgson in pole and going for an 8th straight win of the season. For the best of the rest, he was once again definitely the man to catch. Hodgson now with a 60-point lead in the championship and consistently good off the line this season, but this time his start was anything but smooth.
Lights are on, revs are up, and we're away. Hodgson away. Well, that's better, Frankie. A very good start there from Walker as well. Bike number 9 over to the left-hand side of the screen, jockeying very hard. He's side by side with Laconi. Where's Neil Hodgson? Coming into the first corner. Lavia explodes down the inside. Well, I think it's Lavia, either that or Iannuzzo, but straight through for the first time, and it's Laconi, bike number 55. Walker has gone with him into second place. I'm getting mighty confused. Where's Neil Hodgson? They're swamped.
Yeah, that was Iannuzzo that went in there third. He nearly wiped everybody out. He was down the inside and just slammed the brakes on. There's Hodgson, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position for Neil Hodgson, but that was Iannuzzo, I think, really nearly took everyone out, but he's got it stopped.
I think that's Zalson 6. It looks like he's back. Yeah. There he is, back in 9th or something.
Lavia starting to stretch the legs. He's down the inside of Toseland, but where does that leave Walker? Shuffle back. Yeah, Lavia up into second. Laconi early on the hair again. Here's some action, maybe a new race leader, almost, he's pushing.
Almost, but I did see Neil Hodgson take one place there. He went past Iannuzzo as they went down the straight there towards the Parabolica, so I think he's moved up one of those places now, and he'll take another one almost certainly along this straight here. We've seen him pulling 309 kilometres an hour faster than anything else, and look at these two, looking across at each other because nobody's got the toe here. They're side by side. The only person benefiting, 52 James Toseland, on board with him now, watching these two duking it out into the first chicane.
Okay, this is where we've seen Lavia so strong, an absolute superhero under brakes, and we're very, very close indeed. Did Toseland actually slow himself up there a little bit, just getting a little bit too close to the back of Lavia?
Well, probably, but can I just say, look who is in 4th place. How many people did he pass down the straight?
I don't know, but he passed a lot.
That was ridiculous. That was like just putting your indicators on and passing. Bike 100, Neil Hodgson already into 4th, and I think he came from 8th. That was outstanding. Look at that, it's a freight train, they get going, and all of a sudden the first one makes the move. They all fan out, there they go, 4 abreast. Hodgson on the inside, he's got the speed. Has he got the brakes at the end of the straight?
Pick a winner, anybody's like a lucky dip. We're on world with Hodgson, everyone's just behind us now, 296 down the straight. Well, Lavia managed the same, but it really worked for Hodgson.
Look at this.
Whoa,
absolutely.
New race leader.
Yeah, Gregorio Lavia one more time slams it down the inside. Really, he's just got so much more confidence. Look at Laconi having another good look into Lesmo 1 now. Let's just see what's going to happen. Can Lavia lead this for a few laps? Will Hodgson sit behind him, see where he's weak, see where he's strong? We know where Hodgson's strong, and that's the fast straight. But that's a long, long way back round to the finish line, isn't it?
Look at Frankie right now, though. When you got Lavia in front, the pace is not going to be as quick, and Frankie's coming up the back.
Yeah, Frankie was a 48.1 last time. He was the quickest man on the track the lap before, so he's really starting to gather these 3 up as they all play shuffle with each other, and he's starting to break away from the Zaus, Toseland, Walker trio, which is very good for him. If he can get with this front group, not the next group back, he's still in with a shot.
And number 100 there, Hodgson's got back through. That was on the drag up towards Ascari. Number 10, Lavia, looking on the inside.
Across the line last time, the margin was 0.06 of a second between Lavia and Hodgson. That's nothing as Lavia tries to find an agricultural way around the outside. Side by side, bike 10, bike 100. They're trying to wash off the speed. It is strong under brakes. Yes, just takes him. Lavia into that chicane.
Hodgson over the curb. Oh, Hodgson's back.
Oh, do I have to watch this last bit? It's going to end in tears if we're not careful.
Well,
because every one of them wants to win.
I think Hodgson he's just got by Keeley. So you look for Hodgson on this front straight. He's going to try and get both these guys and pull a disappearing act on the last lap. Is it the last lap? Last lap?
Will be the last lap, yeah, it certainly will, as we come across the stripe for the last time.
And he's in a good position to it. I think he can do Laconi, but whether or not he can get past the number 10 Suzuki that's leading, pulls out straight away nice and early if he can pop in behind the Suzuki, and the Suzuki's a big wide thing on board with Keeley now that gets Laconi.
Okay, Keeley, Laconi. Now we're getting a bird's eye view, and Hodgson's up in front. Hodgson's into the lead, into the chicane. He's carrying truckloads of speed. Can he wash it off in time? Lavia carries more speed into that chicane than Hodgson, but Hodgson's done the job. Well, has he done the job? Now Lavia fights back. Lavia's on the inside. This is Curva Grande carrying skip loads of speed. We saw Lavia before pass up into this next chicane, De La Roggia. What's he going to do? He's taking the inside line, just squeezing out Hodgson wide, side by side. Bike 100 on the inside. Has he got it, gentlemen?
I think he's got it.
I don't know how smart Neil Hodgson is at the moment, but if he has got it, he's certainly kept us on our toes for this race, because he looks to me now that he has got it. He's really just got to get it in here nicely through the two Lesmos. Out of the Lesmos, he's got the speed up towards Ascari, and he's got the speed certainly from Ascari back to it. He's going to have to make a mistake now to lose it, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's it, the speed. You know, once he gets out of Ascari, if he's second, he's still, I think, going to win the race.
Zaus has crashed, by the way, guys. That's bad news. Can't see where yet. Post number 8 around the back of the circuit.
I don't know. Hey, watch for Lavia coming into this last corner, because he's really good. If he can stick close enough, holding it tight.
Now just watch for Lavia's also very good out of here. Now just if he can, if there's any way he can drive it out of here now. I don't know, he didn't take a very wide line, he's in the slipstream, but Hodgson now weaving around.
Okay, watch Lavia, watch Lavia.
Yeah, Lavia's into the toe, he's got the wobble, he's having a look down the inside, he's run out of pace, but watch for Frankie as well. Frankie side by side with Laconi as we come into the Parabolica. Remember, the finish line's nearer the starter. Now Lavia's trying to get side by side, Hodgson's just hanging on, Frankie's up into third, and across the line, it's going to be oh so close. Neil's on wheels first, Lavia second, I think. Frankie Keeley takes the podium, they're going to wreck the joint.
Hodgson deservedly putting his feet up after win number 8, and local hero Frankie Keeley was poked for the day after taking his Ducati into third. And it was a third and a second for Gregorio Lavia on that clearly now very competitive four-cylinder Suzuki, and hasn't the Spaniard proved his riding ability too? Laconi picked up 33 points from the weekend. Lovely jubbly, lots of bubbly. Frankie felt the force of the champagne moment, and then Hodgson told us his secret. There wasn't one.
There was no master plan or anything. I was just damn lucky at the end, I've got to say. Just it came down to luck, and I was in the right place at the right time. Thankfully my bike had the horses down the straight, struggling around the fast corners because it just wouldn't steer at all. It was trying to tuck on me all the time, and it was so difficult, and I was losing 10 bike lengths around there. So I think when I gained in speed, I lost definitely around the fast corners, but we're still here.
Number 100 now has 200 points, and he's one win short of Colin Edwards' record 9 in a row. Zeus's non-finish in race 2 means he's now 85 points adrift. 68,000 spectators turned up at the 80,000 capacity Oschersleben circuit on race day, and they were to be mightily entertained. Neil Hodgson now has more timepieces than a Swiss clock shop, which apparently does not amuse Frankie Keeley's wife. You see, he is under instruction from her indoors to win one, which explains the look of angst on his face when beaten to pole. She'll be all picture and no sound. James Toseland looked cool after a very solid weekend of practice, the media-friendly Brit on the front row yet again. It was still Chris Hobler, not Walker, his foot injuries causing some grief. He was content with 4th spot. Ruben Zeus continued to disappoint, down in 6th place on the grid, although he still appeared to be happy with life. So 3 Englishmen and an Italian on the front row. Commentary comes from Steve Parrish and Charlie Cox.
Revs are up and they're away. Good start there from Hodgson. I think everyone else got away cleanly on the front row. It's a flyer down towards Hotel Corner for the first time, the left of your screen. Just sweeping in there. There's Hodgson. Laconi, 55. He's made a great start. Just over to the right hand side. Oh, we're going to ride it down. That's Lavia. Toseland has come across the gravel. That's the first corner. Very, very busy.
Oh, that was bad news, obviously, for them. But Chris Walker was the man that got the start, and number 7, Frankie Keeley. But yeah, for sure, their problem that took James Tozen off the track, on board now, and he's lost it going into the corner and clipped Tozen's bike. Looks like Hodgson's actually now being seriously held up by his teammate, and we know how hard it is to pass around this circuit.
Yeah, you can see as the first lap around, Walker leading did a 1:33. Hodgson was on a 1:35 as we see Keeley just slip through the inside past Chris Walker, as you correctly forecast.
Well, yeah, I think Frankie was the quicker. He got a good run out of that corner coming onto the back straight there.
And Hodgson through too. Straight past the inside of Rubens out, so regular order is starting to be resumed here.
Now watch Hodgson, he's got the speed, the power, he got a better drive out of there, no doubt about it, and there he goes, on board with Hodgson, straight past. Chris Walker, you can see, not really comfortable on that bike, he's hurting a lot. Every time he changes gear, you can see changes movement from one side to the other, his sort of body moves before his legs move. He really, I think, is sore out there.
Round the infield again. He's had some real reliability problems, as Frankie Keeley. He's either pretty much finished up on the podium or not finished at all. And he'll be hoping as hard as you like, as he has one more big look. Ah, there you go, after you. No, I'm going this side.
Yeah, now what's it now? So there you go.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what Frankie wants to do. I think he wants to follow Neil, let Neil Hodgson make the running. Zouse is down.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've lost Zouse. He will be distraught by that. Now, here's the rear-facing view as they're about to club some big curbs just there. Now, this is the point here where Zouse fell, trying to tap on the power to go down the back straight. That's where Zouse had his tumble a couple of laps ago.
Hayden, James Hayden, like Ruben Zouse, he must be thinking, what is going on with my life?
Very cautious. Look how close Zouse is. Out of that corner, head down, bum up. Across as he's done it, Hodgson, Levere's out.
Hodgson sensational and smoking at Silverstone. And with Capirossi winning the Grand Prix, it was quite a day for Ducati. Once again, Hodgson dedicated his wins to David Jeffries, tragically killed at the TT. Gregorio Levere chalked up a 5th podium of the year, and Ruben Zouse came back to form with 2 podiums in a day. But the main man at the main event once again was Hodgson, a double in front of the home fans. Had a good time, Neil?
No, I didn't enjoy it at all, actually. It's been really, really difficult because I've been ill all weekend, as you know, and I'm not trying to come the old soldier, you know, what a hero Neil was, but I've struggled this weekend, really struggled, physically and mentally.
But Neil did stretch his World Championship lead to a whopping 130. James Toseland increased his margin over Zouse by just 1 point, while Regis Laconi stayed in 4th. Naked flesh in the huge Misano crowd here on the Adriatic coast to match the naked aggression that was about to burst from the grid. Neil Hodgson was aiming to back up his double at Silverstone with another one here and show that his defeat by James Toseland at Oschersleben had been nothing more than a blip. One man looking for his first win of the season was Frankie Keeley, but the Italian had won on a Ducati at Misano before. Toseland was sore after his off, but still feeling confident thanks to that German win. Iannuzzo had finished 12th and 9th, also as a wildcard rider at the Monza round in May. Zouse had 2 podiums in England, but hadn't built on that in Superpole, languishing on row 3. It was hot, 31 degrees air temperature, with a track temperature of 48.
This start's important. Really important, and they're away. Everyone looks as though it's pretty clean. Hodgson's all right on the outside of the screen. Watch for that man Iannuzzo, the yellow machine down the inside. 31, yep, I thought he might do it. Iannuzzo is through first. He's got to hang on to it. He is a demon starter, knows this track. The privateer who stuffed his bike up there on the front row of the grid is now leading the race, but not for long. Hodgson lunges down the inside into the tight curve of the Caro, and Hodgson now resumes natural race order. This is the long, sweeping hook down the back straight. What a blinder of a start, though. Stuck his nose in.
I'm glad I didn't shake your hand on that one, Charlie. You were right into turn 1, but Hodgson got him back, didn't he, into the very, very tight Curva del Caro now. Hodgson's got the speed there. This is good. Toseland up into 2nd place.
And Laconi's having a lunge as well. Laconi's just moving on the inside there, but Iannuzzo hanging on. There's the view from Laconi's machine. We're working back up the hill now, out of the bottom Tremonto corner, up to Garcia. Now look at this, 55. Laconi's having a big lunge. He might take 2 here. Oh, don't tear it, take the whole piece. Laconi pushes very hard, gets past Iannucci, moving up onto the back of Toseland. So it's the red machine, bike 100, 52, the orange machine, James Toseland in second, then the black machine, 55. Now, a real issue for Frankie Keeley. He's not made a great fist of this at all. He got shuffled back a little bit. Frankie Keeley finds himself in 5th position. Fans of Chris Walker will be pleased to know he's up into 9th place. He qualified poorly in 13th, but it's a good starter. We've got a rider off.
Hodgson.
Unbelievable.
Neil Hodgson is out of this race. That's him down at the slow hairpin corner. He had a big lead there. They won't get that going. The bike stopped. It's full of sand and dust. Unbelievable scenes here.
Neil Hodgson just walking away. Pit crew can't believe it. That doesn't happen. It's not in the script. Him getting into the lead at the start certainly is, but that's the end of it. Looking back from Hodgson's bike, is anyone around us?
That looked just like a low side crash to me. It's difficult to say from there, but yeah, I think he's just either lost the front as he's tipped it in, or it's spun the rear out, maybe slightly cold tyre. But that is incredible scenes there. Neil Hodgson on the Fila Ducati is out of this race.
As Toseland has a look down the inside, has he got him? Yes, Toseland takes the lead.
Unbelievable. James Toseland leads this race. Perfect move there for him.
The yellow leathers, the yellow machine of Gregorio Lavia. He's right behind Laconi, and you can't help but think that he just needs to get past Laconi to get up on terms, because the lead three are just starting to ease out a little.
I think he's going to shortly, because I've seen Laconi have a few slides, few moments, maybe his rear tyre. Most of these guys, apart from Ruben Zaus in second place running Dunlop tyres, they'll almost certainly be on very similar tyres because they need to have fairly hard, and Zaus does it.
Zaus has got him. Zaus just carries the speed down the inside. We've been here before and he's done it again.
Look at the speed again though. Zaus 271, plays Toseland 263. That's 9 kilometres an hour, 5 miles an hour. That's all it took just to zap him down into that corner. This will be extremely frustrating now for James Toseland on the GSE HM Plant Ducati, as he now has to follow the big Spaniard.
James Toseland just trying to line up and having a think about maybe that's a last lap move he might try on.
Well, certainly it is possible. It will screw him up and the person you're trying to pass, but it is possible to pass through there, through that last park chicane there. You can jam it down the inside. Toseland again fast out of that corner, but it is possible, but it really will screw the pair of them up. It doesn't matter if you're the first one over the line.
You can only do it once, can't you?
Just the once, just save it for the last lap with 4 laps remaining of this, and Keeley on the inside.
He's got him. Frankie Keeley's got it. Now, can he hold it in tight? That's the key. Can he? He's just got his knee down. Zaus is having to ride around the outside of him, or try to, because Keeley slowed the whole process up doing that. And I guess we're going to see Zaus power down the back straight.
Perfect manoeuvre there, but Zaus is on the inside already. He has the speed. He's just motoring past. Surprised he hasn't got his indicators on. Down the inside. Look at him sliding it in, but Keeley's held it.
Unbelievable.
Frankie Keeley late on the brakes, but now he's got to keep it nice and tight through here, and he has done. Frankie Keeley is there this time around. Frankie's speed was pretty good down the straightaway. Can Zaus go down the inside?
This is Garcia, but Frankie knows that's to spot the people. He knows this track like the back of his hand. He could draw it with his eyes shut, and he's kept the door shut.
Zaus is not close enough to pass him at the end of the straight this time around.
So Frankie with his head down moves to the infield to be sure. Zaus hits the Zaus power button and just motors straight back around. And Benny fights back. Okay, Nostradamus.
Okay, right, I'll go back to that one. Zaus was close enough to pass him that time around, but what he did...
Even you're human.
And even in fairness, Zaus is so fast through the left-hander. Frankie was slow, actually. I've got to say, Frankie was not good on the left-hander. He lost 4 bike lengths through that left-hander. That was not squirt. That was... Oh! Toseland gets on the inside there. Got on the inside of the curb there. That was a bit of a mistake from James Toseland there. Is he getting tired? That really was a bit of a rider error. He got on the inside line there and touched the inside.
Touched the concrete, yeah.
It is looking very much like Zaus has got this one because he's quick in this section.
Yeah, I don't want to say that Frankie's a one-trick pony, but that one spot coming onto the straight is where he was really good. I don't think he's going to carry enough speed down into here. Zaus has got it covered, and Frankie's got it covered from James as we watch. Oh, no!
Frankie's high-sided it out, and he was in second place. He's not going to believe it. Frankie Keeley, he's not going to believe it, nor will the crowd, and nor can I. I'm so sorry for him. Everything looked good. Definitely going to get himself on the podium.
He's going to be unconsolable.
The old story with Frankie, just riding with his heart, wasn't he? He just knew he didn't want second. He wanted to win, and he chucked it into that corner. Don't think he was going to get past Zaus, but really, here you go. Ruben Zaus takes his first win of the year.
Zaus's last win had also been in Italy at Imola in the final round of the 2001 season and was his third World Superbike triumph overall. Toseland's second was his fifth podium of the season. Laconi had another solid ride, and Lavia battled up from 9th to 4th, while Walker made it from 13th on the grid to 5th. So big satisfaction for Zaus, and he did the Oscars thing in the interview.
I just want to thanks to my team. Okay, all my mechanics, all my crew, they're the best. Ciao.
The track temperature was now a volcanic 53 degrees. Zaus was up for a sizzling double, and Neil Hodgson's agenda was to show all that his fall in race 1 was nothing more than a freak of nature.
Lights red, ready for a start, and we're away. Everyone away cleanly. I don't know if it's a flying start for Keeley. Pretty good start there for Hodgson. 52, James Toseland, but no, it's Hodgson through. In behind him goes Iannucci. That's pretty good stuff, but all through cleanly. Here's the Laconi eye view, going back up the hill. In front of us, we've got Toseland. Now we're coming up. This is Casilla, the right-hander, and he's through.
Neil Hodgson will be thinking, what on earth is going on now? Look at Laconi, 55, using the speed of the Ducati. Can he outbrake him this time? And he does into second.
Okay, nice stuff there from Laconi. He had that lined up. That was looking pretty good. Hodgson still there with Laconi, very much in touch. Iannucci giving a very good account of himself. Steve, he was heading further south than this earlier on last time around, but he's hanging on tight. James Toseland has dropped back a little, maybe just taking it easy in the early stages.
Quite possibly, and as you said, Keeley looking down the inside and he gets through.
Nice job there. Keeley just slipped straight past Laconi at the end of the pit straight. Laconi is in tight with him though. Looks to me like Hodgson is starting to eke out an advantage already. 6/10 over Keeley, who's half a second behind.
Zaus goes through, sorry Charlie, he's just nipped past Iannucci using the 999 speed and power down the start and finish line. So Ruben Zaus already up there into 4th place. I just saw him blast past Iannucci that time around, so just check this out. Ruben Zaus is on the charge. Fastest lap now, Hodgson, 35.902, times much quicker than race 1. Over the start and finish line they come now to start 9 of 25. Is he going to be quick enough down this start and finish line? Maybe.
And look at Zaus having a look down the inside of Laconi. This is going to be really tight. Fairing to fairing. Zaus has muscled his way through. Laconi didn't look happy about it, but he had to give best. Frankie's looking as agitated as he has all race long. Trying to get onto terms with Neil Hodgson. He must sense Zaus's presence. Zaus moves up the inside now. We're coming up to Casilla, and Frankie's having a move. Frankie, that's a boy making a fight of this. Frankie Keeley goes down the inside of Casilla and takes the lead. Neil Hodgson seems to have carried the speed through the first section at least.
Zaus all the time. Now look at this, Zaus has gone for the inside line, but I don't think he'll have the speed because Hodgson seems to be slightly more aerodynamic, but yes, he does.
He does. Unbelievable stuff. He's carried it through. Maybe Hodgson just thought, okay, just get out of here. I just don't want to get tangled up. I'll work this out in a minute.
Watch number 11, Ruben Zaus. He's extremely fast through there as he leaves a great big black line through that left hand. And then this next bit, this is where he's real quick. He'll take a big old chunk out of Frankie Keeley here now as he carries his speed through. Can he pass him? I think he can this time around. Look at that. The speed he brings that bike onto the straight.
Yeah, Frankie Keeley almost gesticulates there. Well, okay, if you want it that much, it's yours.
Yeah, I can see Frankie now riding quite defensively. He knows that Hodgson's there. He knows he's hassling him. He's all the time making sure he keeps it a nice tight line, doesn't use all the road going in, making sure he uses it all coming out now. Neil Hodgson will be desperately keen to try and do something about that. That was a shot inside of the... And there he goes.
Yes, yep, straight through. It's getting hot at the front. Frankie's still hanging on though, you're right. Absolutely amazing stuff. He's happy to go with them. Maybe following suits better, but Zaus is up the pace, and Hodgson just slides through the inside and returns the service. Easy as that.
Well, I did think that, and then also Keeley goes through. Unreal, because that must have upset. Zaus must have just got shoved a little bit wide. It wasn't ready, and Zaus nearly out the seat, well, completely out the seat there again. Ruben Zaus, he's lost his rhythm. We've seen him do that before. Hodgson went through. Keeley, just as quick as that, followed him through, and Ruben Zaus looking a bit flustered now. Oh, and a moment there for Frank as he tried to gas it up coming out of this long left-hander. That's allowed Zaus to get really close. Now watch this now. Zaus will pull out in a minute. They'll come through this very fast left-hander, and Zaus for sure will just pull to the 999 lane, and down the inside he goes again. Or how Frank, yeah, he goes, there he goes.
Yep, job done.
I don't know if he's close enough, but if Ruben can get on it here, if it doesn't wriggle him out the seat coming out of here, short shifting up through there, he's close, he's fast. He'll make a run through here now, building. If he can keep it pinned, and he has kept it pinned, watch this. Zaus will come through this corner now, and I'm sure he's going to have a lunge down the inside. Hodgson will defend. Zaus is going the long way round. Surely he can't do it the long way round, and he has.
Side by side, can he get through? Hodgson tries to fight back, he can't do it. Zaus just carries the speed down the outside. Now can Hodgson fight back? That's through the bottom corner. That's Tremonti, the fastest part of the circuit leading down to it. Now Hodgson's got to fight back, coming back up the hill towards Casilla.
Coming out of this, up to the penultimate corner now. What can happen here?
He's covering it. He's got the inside line. Hodgson's having a little look, but there's no room. Zaus has got that covered, and Hodgson has a manoeuvre. A bit of a lift there for Hodgson, so it's not enough. Zaus has got to get his head down. Zaus, Hodgson. It's going to be Ruben Zaus takes the double and beats Neil Hodgson. You couldn't have got money on that. Frankie Keeley gets the podium. Everyone goes home happy.
A fabulous double then for Ruben Zaus, following up those two third-place finishes at Silverstone. Now he's found a run of form and confidence. Hodgson had his second runners-up spot of the season, while Keeley recovered from that shattering high side in race 1 to take a podium position. Chris Walker was 8th. So some well-earned silverware for Ruben's Barcelona trophy cabinet. Zaus moved back into second in the championship, but he's a massive 107 points behind Hodgson. But boy, did he enjoy beating his teammate in race 2.
I just tried to be relaxed, just Ruben, 25 laps, get your rhythm, you pass them.